What's up, everybody? Ben Barrows, aka Random Crown, here for the final part of this 162 Bounty Builder hand history review. We are now at the final table, and if you remember this Ace Jack hand, we just won a decent pot to bust the first player. And if you don't remember this hand, please go back and watch the previous video and all other videos you haven't seen, so you will be all caught up. Got a pretty healthy stack here at this FT. Got like 550k at 3k, 6k, so a little over 90 blinds, which is huge for a tournament. As you can see, the next biggest stack only has, what is that, like 210k? So we're like more than double, nearly triple the next biggest stack. So we have a huge lead. Yeah, we're a favorite to win this tournament at this point in time. And spoiler alert, we actually do shippity dip it, and now you guys get to see how we did it. So we get a 3x from under the gun, and the cutoff, who only has 2 BB behind, calls, which is why we call on the button, so we can potentially bust the guy that's all in, so we can get his bounty. And because that guy's all in, the under the gun Razor is going to play pretty honestly against us post flop, because there's no real value in bluffing, because he's going to have to show down his hand. So if he tries to bet me off my hand, it means they actually have to have something with showdown value. And Queen 8 suited, you know, flops pretty decently. We got straight and flush draw potential, decent pair value, and we have position. So we'll be able to act last post and be able to evaluate whether, you know, it's worth continuing with our hand or not. And we get an ace 7 queen board, rainbow. So we flop second pair, and we have a backdoor flush draw. And we're facing a c-bet of a little over a third pot. And we decide to peel, because we are getting pretty decent odds, like 3.6 to 1. And we already have a pair, so we have 5 outs to improve to trips or 2 pair, and we could turn a spade, which would give us additional equity. Plus there's the off chance that the better has worse than us still. Maybe they have 7x, 10s, 9s, jacks, that just decides to bet here. Maybe they have king, jack, you know, are just trying to bet us off whatever small pair we have, and hopefully, you know, still get in good against the all-in, or who could have jack 10, or, you know, just like 5-6 suited, you know, something that, you know, is reasonable to call in with, but that just missed this board. And we call and just decide to give up on the turn if they bet it, which they do. They just ship it, so it's a very easy fold. Now they're going to show up with an ace here a lot. Somehow they just show up with a queen as well, which makes no sense to me. Like, when we call the flop, like, we gotta have an ace in their minds a lot, so like, if they're shoving the turn to bluff off an ace, kudos to them, but I just doubt it's gonna work that often in reality. Thankfully we didn't make a hero call with our worst queen. That would have been embarrassing. So yeah, like, with the action, we can't really call ever. I think it's okay to call on the flop though, just because, you know, we can draw out against a pair of aces and we have our backdoor flush equity. But yeah, they just ship it with their second pair and are good against eights. So nice hand. Now we have king 7 on the cutoff. We just min open. And the BB defends. We get a 3 deuce 3 2 diamond board. Easy c bet. They're just gonna miss here a lot. Yeah, our king high is probably just gonna be good, so we're really just protecting our equity. King queen suited. Easy open under the gun. Ship the bleezies. Four, 5 suited on the cutoff. Pretty standard open since we have everyone covered. Yeah, we just want to keep applying the pressure with any sort of equitable hand. This king 9 off is probably going to raise. Yeah, we definitely don't mind getting it in against the gun +2. But we'll have to fold when the small blind chips at just too many blinds to call off there, about 15. Yeah, like they're just gonna have a hand that has us bad shape most of the time. Now we got Jack 9 in small blind. So gotta fold this under the gun open and 3-bet. Jack 6 suited. It's gonna be muck since someone else opens. Queen 10 here. Definitely an open. Yeah, we're opening like any Broadway. A lot of suited stuff. A lot of just straight draw type hands. And we decided to just check back. What did we do here? We decided to get fancy. Yeah, no, let's see. I think it's usually a pretty standard bet on the flop here. After the BB defends, we have 2 overs and a gut shot, but I guess we decide to check here because of how the stacks are. We, you know, if we see bet the BB has a good stack to just check ship it on us, and we don't want to have to like fold out our equity, so we just decided to check back to realize it for free, hoping to turn a jack or a 10 or a queen for top pair or a straight. Excuse me. But we do not get there. And then turn is an 8. And we decide to float because we don't necessarily think that they're going to bet this strong with a boat. You know, like if they have a 9 or an 8, I feel like they check or bet less. I mean, this is a pretty healthy bet, like it's basically like a 75% pot bet. And it just seems doubtful that they're just going to bet this strong with a boat. So we call here, so we can still rep 9x and 8x. And just jam the river if they check. I think we'll have a lot of fold equity when we do so. Because like I think when they check they just don't have a boat, and we easily could. And then even if they have like ace high or something, we could still get there with a straight, or potentially our pair could be good. But when they ship the river, it's just like the easiest fold ever. Because they could easily have a boat, even though it doesn't make sense for them a lot to on the turn with their sizing. But as soon as they bet the turn and then just, you know, jam the river, you know, like they easily could, still in their range. Now we have 9-10 off, and the BB facing it under the gun open and cut off flat. Get a queen ace rainbow board. Just very easy check fold. Now we have ace queen off in small blind, facing a under the gun open. They make it 2.5x, and we just flat here probably. Oh wow, he's 3-bet. I guess we don't mind getting it in. Yeah, I guess we just want to put max pressure on these stacks. You know, everyone's got about the same amount. Yeah, hovering between like 150 and 240k. So we just 3-bet here because the under the gun player pretty much only has like 30 blinds behind, like 31, and we don't mind 3-bet getting it in against them because they'll still 4-bet ship it with like jacks and 10s, maybe 9s, maybe ace jack, although that's doubtful. But if we can ever induce against ace jack, potentially even king queen, then yeah, like we got a 3-bet call ace queen here. And I think it's fine to just 3-bet just for value. I mean, like we expect to have the best hand here. We just want to take it down pretty a lot. and we don't mind getting it in against the BB as well. Like, obviously, like, if they shove, we are committed to call. I mean, like, they're going to be 4-bet shoving probably a stronger range, but ace-queen is still going to fare decently enough against it, especially with all the money in the pot. We'll be getting basically the right price to call it off. So, we 3-bet to a little under 3x. Take it down. I mean, GTO-wise, I think we should be 3-betting larger, like more than a full 3x, but the reason why we go between like 2.5 and 3 is to leave maximum room to induce, like if they do have ace-jack, or king-queen, or whatever worse hand, they can come over top. But I know the flip side of that is that they can flat us more profitably, which is why we want to make it bigger in the first place. But if we don't think they're the type of player to, take the odds that we're giving them and, play more against our 3-bet, in a under the gun small blind sense, like, I'm 3-betting under the gun from the small blind, therefore my range is strong, and because I made it, on the smaller side, like, what is that, like about 2.5x, maybe a little more, that I've got to have it, so they'll maybe like fold some like the queen 9 suited, the jack 10 offs or whatever, that maybe getting an okay price to call. So yeah, I think we can expect them to basically just play like a folder ship strategy, and we don't mind calling their ship. I mean, it is kind of a lot, 30 blinds, but once we got enough in there, plus the bounty factor, I think once we 3-bet, we pretty much have to call it off. Thankfully, they don't go with it, and we just take it down, win a decent pot. Now, here is a pretty interesting hand. Actually, it's not this one. We have ace-jack under the gun, probably the next orbit that will be a fun one to go into. But we just shift the blinds with that open, and we just get a walk here with a 7-5. Now we have 6-5 suited in the small blind. Just gonna be a muck against this open 3-bet. Ace deuce off on the button. Just gonna muck it against this 6x open. King deuce. Cut off. Just gonna be a muck to this 5x open. Alright, this is the hand I'm talking about. Ace jack. We open under the gun, 5-handed. Button 3-bets. They 2.5x it. And we range them here on, like something decent. Like, they don't 3-bet that much. So probably like 8s through aces, ace queen plus, ace jack suited plus, maybe king queen, maybe ace 10 suited. But I think some of those hands will flat. And then maybe some random error, maybe like ace 5 suited, maybe like 9-10 suited, jack 10 suited. So we decide to just put some pressure on them, since they are second in chips by a decent amount now, and we are still chip leader. So we're the only player at the table that can bust them. And we think that they're going to be 3-betting, light enough here. Even if it is for value, it's still going to be like non-nutted hands. Like, I think he'll have like, less than queens plus here a lot. So I think our ace jack, is still going to be good enough of the time. And even if they do have a pair, we put them in tough spots when we 4-bet. So we decided to do that with our blockers. It makes it less likely they can have aces, ace king, ace queen, jacks. So we just 4-bet to a little more than 2x their 3-bet. And they flat. We get a 5-5-4 2-spade board. We have 2 overs in the backdoor flush draw. And, it would be standard to c-bet here. That way we keep our 4-betting range uncapped. You know, because presumably if we have like aces or kings, we want to bet here since there's some draws out there. But we ended up timing down, and it auto-checked us because we ran out of time bank when we were trying to figure out the optimal c-bet size. And they checked back, and we used this to our advantage because now it looks like we just voluntarily checked. They don't know that we timed down and checked. So it looks like we have a pretty strong hand here potentially, because when we 4-bet and then check this flop, I mean, like, we could have ace-king. We could, yeah, have ace-king or ace-queen, or have air and then just decided to give up. And I think if we check the turn, then we're saying that's exactly what we have. But because we checked the flop, after we 4-bet pre, it looks sort of suspicious. Like, if we had aces or kings, especially aces or kings with a spade, we could totally check this flop. Because there's not a lot of turns that are terrible. Like, even if it is a spade, like, we'll still have the backdoor flush redraw. And when we check, we can potentially, like, induce bets from worse pairs. Say he has, like, you know, 8s through jacks. He's definitely going to toss out a bet on this board. He doesn't want, like, any overcard to come out. So we could just potentially, like, check raise with aces or kings in their mind. So maybe they would make a nitty check back with a medium pair. Or they could just have ace high, you know, and they're just trying to get the cheap showdown. Like, I could see them totally having ace queen here. Maybe ace king. Ace king could 5-bet chip it pre, but I think they're actually going to be a little nervous because they got 4-bet by the chip leader and they're second in chips, and they don't really want to get it in for, you know, like 50 blinds pre with just ace king when there's like so many, like, you know, 20-ish blind stacks left. So I could see them totally flatting with ace king. Definitely ace queen. And so we get this 5 on the turn, and now if we have a pair, we have a boat. You know, so this is a great board to bluff at, in my opinion, because I think that they just never really nutted. I just don't think they ever really have aces or kings from the way the action went. Probably not queens either. So I think their range, yeah, is probably like jacks through 8s, ace king, ace queen, yeah, maybe ace jack, maybe ace 10, maybe king queen. So against that range, like, it's a great board to delay c-bet. And so we do so. We make it about a third pot, which is less than what we 4-bet to pre, and we make it the size to look as strong as possible. And also partly to kind of like string them along, so that way we can set up a massive river shove. I expect them to call with ace queen on the turn with that sizing, and ace king, and maybe they have ace jack suited that we could fold off chops when we shove the river. I doubt king queen really calls the turn, but I mean, they could even call the turn with 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks if they decided to check them free. Excuse me, not pre, but on the flop. And again, it seems pretty doubtful that they would check, yeah, like jacks or 10s. Yeah, I mean, 9s or 8s. Honestly, I mean, just it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to check those. So that's why I think we can, like, you know, heavily discount them from their range. But if they did decide to check them on the flop, it's because that they were scared of us having an overpair, and they're going to play their hand more cautiously. So if they're the type of player to check those kind of hands behind on the flop, then they'd be the same type of player to muck these hands on the river. Because, you know, from the way the hand went, we could easily have a trickily played aces or kings here. And we just decide to jam like we have it and get it through. And I think we're going to see them fold like ace queen here a lot. Ace queen, ace king. But I think, yeah, more ace queen, honestly. So, yeah, that was a pretty non-standard play. I know I'm probably going to get flamed for doing it, but we decided to just take the aggressive approach in game, and it worked out. So, you know, thankfully the chips went our direction. King queen now on the button, facing an under the gun open. we decide to just call. And I think we end up, yeah, I guess just folding against this squeezer. I guess their bounty wasn't really big enough for us to call it off. I think it's pretty close though. I think we could call here. It would be fine. But I didn't think that they were the type of player to really squeeze like broadways as much. They're probably going to have more of a value hand, and I just didn't really feel like getting it in against potentially ace king or ace queen. And yeah, I mean, I guess we could be flipping a lot. It's okay. I think we could call it off there and it would be fine. But we just decided to avoid small invariants and just move on to the next one, so we could, gradually keep chipping these guys down. Yeah, and 7-9 off, gonna be easy open on the cutoff with these stacks. We ship the blinds. Same with queen 10 suited here, under the gun. Flop top pair after the BB defends. C-bet and take it down. Just gotta mug the queen 6 here to this. Oh wow, interesting. Okay, so the cutoff 2.5x's, and we're in the BB with queen 6. And again, we cover everyone, including the cutoff who is second in chips. So that's why we 3-bet here, just put the pressure on him because he doesn't want to play a big pot against us because he's hoping the other players bust before he does. So we 3-bet and we flop middle pair on this king jack queen board. It's gonna really connect with our 3-betting range really well, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of draws out there. If he has like a 10, I mean, he's always calling with his open ender. I mean, he's gonna have like a pair a lot too. Like, you could have something, yeah, like jack 9. You could have something like, yeah, like queen 9 suited. Like, yeah, like king 9. You could have ace jack. Yeah, like ace queen even. I mean, he's gonna get a piece of that board a lot. So we decided to check on the flop, and to kind of pot control with our second pair, see what he does, and he checks back. And so then we figured our second pair could be good on this deuce of clubs turn, so we decided to just bet out because there's a lot of draws. We don't want to see a 10, a 9, an ace, any club. So this way we can potentially get some value from a jack if he has one, and if he has like a flush draw, now we charge him a bit to see the river, and we just take it down. So I guess he had like a low pair. Complete with 4-3 off and it folds to us, and take it down. We flop a gutter. Jack deuce suited on the button, easy open. BB defends, get a 6-jack queen boards. We flop second pair, just check back for pot control. They lead the 8 turn, which brings out a straight and a second flush draw. And we just calm down, and they just decided to turn 4th pair into a bluff. Now we have ace jack on the cutoff, easy min open, shift the bleezies. Ace king under the gun, easy open. And the button ships it, as does the BB, easy call for us. Flop top pair, and it's good against the queens and the queen king. So we get a double booty. We get a double bounty. Double booty, chip the duty, and now we are 3-handed with over 1 million chips. Pocket 6 is on the button. We raise it up. Small blind ships it. We easily call for their less than 20 BB shove. And lose a flip against the ace king. Can't win every all-in, guys. Now we have the 5-3 off from the BB. We get a walkski. We get the queen 10 off in the SB. And we just raise it up and take it down. 7-6 on the button. Easy open, and we ship them blinds. I got deuce 3 suited in the BB. Gonna be an easy defend against this min open from the button. Just 5 backdoor flush draw. Not good enough to continue against the c-bet with. Queen 10 again in the SB. Now we just decide to limp. We're mixing it up. And we just bet out in this 9-high board and take it down. 3-7 off on the button. Probably going to be a fold. I might just put the pressure on though, but no, we'll let it go. 5-7 off in the BB. Get another walk. Now we have ace-jack in the SB. And definitely going to raise this one and take it down again. 4s on the button. Easy open. Ship the blinds. Yeah, no one really wants to play back at us. Like, they're both kind of like waiting for good hands to hopefully, you know, double up with while, you know, hoping that the other person gets coolered. And now we have 5-8 suited. Just gonna limp. He hasn't been playing back at us too much when we do so, so we're just gonna continue taking cheap flops. Flop bottom pair. And now there's 3 over, so we're just trying to check it down. And we decided to just call here on the turn because, like, he's gonna raise his aces pre, so it's hard for him to really credibly rep one when he bets it, and he's not gonna bet a king or a 10 there. So yeah, I mean, he would have bet the flop with a king and maybe with the 10, but definitely not on the turn. So we decided to just calm down because, yeah, I mean, he bets the turn, he's not repping anything, and when he bets the river, you know, like, it's not like he's gonna improve that much. Maybe he has 7-9 occasionally, but again, I think he bets the flop with that. So yeah, I think our 8's gonna be good here a lot, so I think it's a pretty reasonable call down. Especially, you know, with the odds that we were getting. I don't have to be right so often for that to be profitable. So I'd let the jack 4 off go on the button with those stacks. Which I think it would have been a fine raise as well though, because these guys aren't playing back at us often enough. We just want to keep putting the pressure on. Get another walk with 6-7. Now we have queen 5 blind versus blind. Just continue our limping strategy. And just lead out in the flop. And wow, they call. Turn a gut shot. We decide to just continue barreling, and then we get there and we bet smaller on the river than we did on the turn to induce, hopefully, and they just call us down with top pair. We could raise the deuce jack on the button again, since it's not really playing back as much, but just decided to let it go since it doesn't have that great equity. Now we have 10-6, gotta fold to this ship. Queen 7 in the small blind. Just another complete and another bet on this board, which we miss, but they miss too, so we take it down. 5-3 off, again, not very good equity, so we'll just muck here on the button. It looks like we just get another walk here with deuce 9. 10 deuce, yeah, we'll give kinkers a walk this time, not really good enough to limp with. Now we have queen 8 on the button. Just gonna be ship with these stacks, like, it's just like 16 BB effective, so queen 8 can become a jam now. BB calls and holds. Now you have deuce 10 suited. Small blind limps, and now we can exploit that play by ISO raising. We make it a little more than 3x, about 3.25, and they fold. Now we get king jack in the small blind, and we just decide to just 2.2x to induce. We'll just snap off ships. It's an alright shove if we just open jam it, like it's profitable when we do so, but we decided to just induce here with our raise to get worse hands to shove all in that would have folded to our jam. And now we just c-bet this 9-high board and take it down with our third pot bet, because they're just going to miss so often. And we have 9-jack on the button, easy open. And we get it through. We got the 5-9, the BB. Small blind calls, we just check behind. 7-jack ace, 2-diamond board. They check, we check. We end the turn, they bet, easy fold. Now we have the 7-6 in the small blind. Easy ship. Instead of going all in though, we just make it 6 blinds. So that way it's harder for them to shove all in over top rather than just click call if we were to ship it. And now we just raise king and get shipped on. It's a very easy call. And 9-10 suited gets there. Now we have 68 the BB. Button min opens. Easy defend with our hand that can make a straight. Get an ace king 5 board. They see bet, we easily fold. 3-8 off. And SB. Just gonna be a muck to this. Button open. Now we have king 7 on the button. See open. We ship the bleezies yet again. Deuce 3 off here in the BB. It's gonna be a muck to this button. Min open. Now 9-7 off here in the SB. We just complete. BB checks behind. Probably just gonna bet out here and take it down, which we do. 6-5 on the button. Easy min open. BB defends. Flop king high. Good one for us to see bet. So we do so. They call. We turn a inside straight draw and a flush draw, so I think it's going to be good enough for us to barrel here. We do so, and they ship it, and we easily muck. Jack 9 the BB. Small blind calls. We decided to check behind this time. Flop the nuts. And we just bet half pot, and they fold because they didn't have anything, unfortunately. Now we have ace 9 in the small blind. And we just raise to about 2.5x, hoping to induce a jam that we would snap off, but they just call. Queen 6-10 board. We decided to just check call here to keep in their air. And we get a king on the turn. They go all in. We easily fold. 9-3 off, screen muck on the button. 10-4 off here. And BB. It's gonna be a check after they limp. Flop bottom pair. Easy call after they bet. And value check on the turn since there's all overs. And I think our hand's probably good here, but there's no real value in betting. And indeed there was not, because the other guy turned a pair of 5s. We were right to make the call on the flop, but they got there. So both played it standardly. Now queen deuce, just limp blind versus blind, just take it down the bet on the flop. Jack 6. Definitely gonna be a raise here on the button. We just shippy dip the bleezies. Looks like we'll flop here. Just limps. And we just missed this ace high board with our 9 high. Turn gut shot, but it's not really going to be good enough to continue with. They just bet and take it down. Now you have ace 10 in the small blind. Button, min opens, we call. BB calls. We could 3-bet here, it would be fine. But I think calling is cool too. That way we under-rep our hand. And when we 3-bet, we can't really expect him to 4-bet too lightly because they've been playing pretty tightly. So I don't think they're the type of player to really just like 4-bet rip it in with like ace 9 or king queen necessarily. So that's why I think our hand's just gonna have better value just flatting pre. And we do something a little different here. We flop top pair, top kicker, but there's a flush draw and a straight on board. So we decided to just lead out to protect our hand. Top pair, top kicker is likely gonna be best on this board, and we don't want it to go checking around and then there being a club or an 8 or a 9 or a face card on the turn. So we just lead out to protect our equity and take it down. Now we have Jack 9 suited on the button. Easy open. Small one chips, easy fold. Now we have Ace Deuce off in the BB. And just decide to slightly more than 3x ISO on the small blind limps. Just take it down. 9-4 off. Yeah, not going to be good enough to limp. Now we have 9s on the button. Easy open. And BB ships it. It's a snap call for 20 blinds. We're just going to be ahead of their range so much. They're going to have plenty of worse pairs. We'll be flipping a lot too. And yeah, they just have a hand that's dominated, A7. And they get there on the turn, but thankfully we make our straight on the river. And now we are heads up. Get 10-4 in the BB. Just check after the button calls. Flop bottom pair. And we just check it down to the river. No point in betting. They check. And they take it down with their returned pair. And now we have 4-9 off on the button. We decided to just min raise. Decided to just start raising every button until they play back at us. 7-9 suited in the BB. Easy peel this min raise. And we flop second pair. Pretty good heads up. And we just check call. Their c-bet. Turns a 6 of diamonds, puts out a flush and a straight. And we could call here. It would be totally acceptable, but the flush came in. 7-8 just made a straight. They could still be betting 10x for value. So I think because of all those factors, and you know, when we call the flop, obviously we have to have a piece of it. So we could have a straight, we could have a flush, and they're still choosing to bet into us. You know, it's just a sign of strength. So I think we can just let it go comfortably, because especially of their stack. They only have 200k behind, and if we call this bet, then there's about 200k in the pot. So they have about a pot size bet left. They can easily just ship it on the river, and we have to fold. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of bad rivers too. Like any diamond, any face card, any ace. You know, like even if it's an 8, which gives us a straight, you know, we still don't have the nuts. They could easily have a flush already. So I think, yeah, for all those reasons, it's fine to fold here. We don't want to like give away a lot of our stack when we have such a lead. We can wait for a better spot to put the pressure on them, rather than, you know, just trying to call off and hopefully be right. Now we have 4-5 on the button, just easy open. Wow, yeah, this is a fun hand. 7-7-8, rainbow board. They lead. We call with our gut shot. And we get a jack on the turn, which puts out the straight for 9-10 now. And they lead like a third pot. And we raise to slightly under 3x what their bet is, because we easily have 9-10. We easily have 7x here. And when they lead, they probably don't have 7x. Like, it's a rainbow board. It's doubtful that they're really leading to protect with just like the few straight draws out there. I think that they're usually going to check call or check raise with 7x. I doubt they lead it too much. And they could have 9-10 when they lead, but when they lead so small on the turn, I don't think they have it as much. I think that they have 8x a lot here, to be honest. So we decide to just raise here because we credibly have 7x and 9-10, and are pretty much planning on just giving up if they call, because their call is kind of strong. And then, yeah, just checking back the river. But I think that we're just going to take it down here enough on the turn to make this play worthwhile. And that's exactly what we do. Yeah, I really think we got them to fold an 8. Now we jack deuce in the BB. They limp the button. Get A7-5 rainbow board. Check, they check back. Turn a deuce. And we just check it down and are good. Now we have 7-9 on the button. Easy min open. They ship it for 20 blinds. We easily fold. Ace 10 suited in the BB. And we get a walk. Deuce 9 suited. Easy open. Opening anything suited. And we take it down. 4-10 suited in the BB. They min raise. We defend. Just miss the flop. And just have it check through. Queen on the turn changes nothing. And they just check back. We river, pair of fours. And it's no good against their pair of fives. Now we have ace king on the button. Easy open. They flat. Get a 10-6-5 rainbow board. We see bet third pot, just take it down. Queen 3 suited. We walk it out. 8-3 suited, standard open. But then they 3-bet ship it, so it's a standard fold. Now we have 6-7 off in the BB. Get a walks key again. Deuce 5, we let them have this one. Deuce 9, they let us have this one. 5-7, we open and they fold. 3-8 off. The BB, they open, we just let them have it. 6-4 off. We just open and they ship it and we fold. Deuce Jack, they give us a walk. 10-5. We open and take it down. 10-6. Looks like they open and we decide that this is not worth defending. It would be okay maybe if we were a little deeper, but 10-6 just gonna play kind of awkwardly post that position. Only 20 blinds effective. Any ace, easy open. 10 jack suited here. You know, like, this is an interesting spot. A lot of players would just 3-bet ship this since we're less than 20 BB effective. But just because this guy, you know, he plays pretty straightforwardly, and I think we have a huge post-flop edge on him, I think it's better to keep the pot's lower variance and, you know, just try and gradually just chip him down. And 10 jack suited flops really well, so, you know, we're happy to see a board with it and, you know, go from there. And we just miss on this 4-4-5 board. Got a backdoor flush draw 2 overs, but it's not really good enough to continue. Yeah, I like just losing, like, you know, a small pot there rather than just shipping it and having him double up when he just calls us with ace queen or something, you know. You know, king 5, easy open, take it down. 9 jack suited, easy defend, just like the jack 10 suited. Flop 2 overs and straight draw, so it's gonna be good enough to call or c-bet. Turn a flush draw, and again, easy call. We're just getting direct odds to draw out on them, and we just miss, so we easily fold to their ship. Now we have king 5 suited on the button, easy open, easy game when they fold. 4-6 suited in the BB. They limp, we check, and we flop an open ender, we lead, and they raise, and we call. And we turn a pair, and they check back. And we river trips, and we bet, and they pay us off. What did they raise us on the flop with? Aces. 6 slow play, bro. Deuce 4, yeah, we decided to just open the button. You know, they just lost a pot, so they're going to be less apt to want to play back at us. 6-5. They limp. We flop bottom pair when we check. And we decided to bet the turn for value. Figure our 5's good. Fold out, like, high card, like, equity. Like, they have, like, king 9. You know, now they don't have the opportunity to see a free river and, you know, make a higher pair than us. And we'll get value from some draws, like king 4, king 6, you know, and even 3x. So yeah, I think that's pretty fine value out there on the turn. Queen deuce off here on the button. And we just open, take it down, ace-9 on the BB. And they ship it, we call easily. Ace-9 with, like, what? Like 12-ish blinds effective. It's the nuts, heads up. They have 5s and ship a flip. Deuce-8 suited, again, gonna be an easy open. Take it down. 4-10 suited. Get a walk, Deuce-3 off. Still gonna be a raise. Yeah, we're just raising any 2 cards until they play back us enough, which they just aren't doing. Now we have ace-10. Again, we decide to flat here rather than ship it. Same idea as the jack-10 suited earlier. You know, like, it's obviously profitable to 3-bet ship here. They could call us off with maybe worse hands, maybe ace-9, maybe ace-8, but that's the thing. I don't feel like they always would. So I think that there's maybe more value in just slow playing our hand and avoiding, potentially high variance spot. I'm just going all in there, because if we double him up there, we're gonna have about even stacks. He'll have like 600k, we'll have like 700k. So we want to avoid that kind of situation. But once we get a jack-4 board, it's an easy call with ace-10 high. And we could call again on the turn, but with that sizing, it looks like they have some sort of value hand. And they don't really seem like the kind of player to be double barrel bluffing us very much. So we just let it go. And we just open our ace on the button and just fold to their ship. It's too much to call off. Queen-4 off in the BB. Facing min-range to the button. Not going to get enough to defend. Queen-Deuce off though. Definitely good enough to raise with again. And they call. And we just get a king-high board. They're backdoor flush draw and straight draw. And just take down their c-bet. King-9 in the BB. They open limp, we check. Get an ace-7 deuce board, we have the backdoor flush draw. King high's probably good too, especially when the turn pair is the 7, so that's why we decide to lead, and then they raise small. And I think against some players we could call here, expecting our king high to be good, but against this player, I just think he's got it. He's been playing pretty face up, so I feel like we can expect him to have 7x there a fair amount. 8-4, definitely gonna be an open here. Take it down. King deuce. They open and we do not defend. King 9 though. Yeah, we open and take it down. Queen 4, they open and take it down. 6-8 suited, we open, take it down. 10-7, they open, we do not defend somehow. Yeah. I think we could defend 10-7 there. I think it'd be acceptable, but not at that time. They take it down. We raise the deuce 7 and ship it. They raise what? Again, I think we could defend the 6-5 off. I think it'd be fine, but we just let them have it. We're at this point in time, we're just trying to play as many pots in position and as few out of position as we can. Raise 6-8, get a king high board, easy c-bet, and they call. And we just turn an open ender, so we decide to barrel. Oh, we don't. We decided to check our free equity. I guess because the flush got there too. So, yeah, we don't really expect them to fold a lot of pairs. So yeah, we decided to check back. And we river the 8 high straight, and they bet half pot. And we decided to just be an idiot and call, because we don't want to double them up if they happen to have a flush. Which they do, so thankfully we lost the minimum there. Now we have ace-3 in the BB. And we just make it slightly less than 3x, because we figure our ace to be good. We just want to juice up the pot with what is likely the best hand. And now we have jacks on the button. Very easy open. They 3-bet, so we 4-bet, and they 5-bet jam, and we snap them off. And are good against their ace-6, which they finally decided to get out of line with. They've been playing pretty straightforwardly up until now. But that's the beautiful thing about heads up. A lot of people don't really know how to play it correctly, and will spew off their chips at one point in time. So you just gotta be patient, and play GTO, and things will work out. So that's the 162 Bounty Builder, folks. Thank you all very much for watching, especially those of you who tuned in to every single part. I know this was a pretty lengthy video, so thanks for bearing with me. Hope you guys learned something. I know this was a lot of fun for me. I don't really make these videos ever. This is, I guess, officially my first one, and I'm planning on making a lot more to, make the Random Crayon channel a legitimate poker learning resource for you guys. So again, thank you guys for joining me for my first official hand history review video. Expect many more to come. Alright guys, on that note, see you next time. I'll be making the $4 Bounty Builder Shibbity Dip video soon, making some mindset video ones soon after that. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll be tweeting out any new updates. So thanks again for joining me, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Shibbity Dip, out.